Welcome to One More Game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. I'm your host, Matt Brandenburger, alongside my beautiful wife, Abby. Hi, Abby.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. You just called me a name right before we started recording. I should have put that on there. But
You're not being very nice to me.
I am being very nice. I'm being as nice as you deserve. Actually, I would say better than you deserve. No, we've just had a long day.
It has been a long day.
But we're doing great. We're doing great, guys. We're not fighting. We really aren't. Has been an eventful couple weeks since we last recorded. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. Our last podcast, we were talking about getting ready to go to the MLP.
Were we? I don't even
so.
remember our last podcast, if I'm being honest.
I think.
Did we just recap the YOLA?
I think it was recapping the YOLA.
I don't think we'd made the decision yet. This decision was last minute.
It kind of was last minute. So this podcast, we're going to be talking about more pickleball adventures. It really has been just an absolutely crazy couple weeks. We could not continue this pace. So there's no way we will rename our podcast to Adventures in Pickleball, but it has been very adventurous. So we're going to get into some of that. So I don't, where do you want to start? Just kind of where we've been the last couple weeks?
Yeah, I think we could say, so basically I was like, we have to go to MLP. Yeah. We have to do it. Yeah. Just with all the drama between PPA and MLP and the people who we thought were going to be there, and they were there, and I might be wrong, but I feel like it's still a community. It's, they're not, the pros aren't, Michael Jordan.
Right. They're still accessible.
They don't have their bodyguards. Yeah. Right. So I was like, let's try.
And we had an opportunity really with having just been to the YOLA event, kind of meeting some people, got invited to this cocktail party that was part of the opening of Ace. And really it was just the convoluence. Is that the word? Convoluence?
Combining?
I don't know. The coming together of the MLP along with the Ace Grand opening in Roswell. Yeah. That was literally 15 minutes away. These are like suburbs of the Atlanta area. We're like,
we've got to
go. And you were honestly the one that was kind of pushing that. You're like, we just need to go. So we decided to drive down on a Wednesday night. And no, it was Tuesday night.
We got up at 2 in the morning.
So it was technically Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. Yeah. I don't think we've ever done that, but it was a 9.5-hour drive, kind of mapped it out so that we would miss all of the traffic around like Indy, and we actually went down through Cincinnati. So we really didn't hit any traffic. By the time we got down to Atlanta, the rush hour traffic was over with. So it was like,
and Wednesday night was the grand opening, right? It was
the grand opening. So that was really our goal.
So we wanted to be at Ace on Wednesday.
To even help set up and do some stuff. But so drove down, and that was really the main reason we were going down was for the Ace. I got this new shirt here. Abby's repping her.
Oh, hot dogs.
Her Coney Island shirt because you love hot dogs so much. I thought you had a
nope,
Ace shirt on as well.
Sorry.
Nope.
Just repping Fort Wayne.
Just hot dogs. But yeah, we go down, and the event was awesome.
It was amazing. It made me so excited for the Fort Wayne Ace. It's going to be... Yeah. Now, listen, we're not going to combine it with an MLP event. I know that.
Hopefully. Hopefully we could. But
just the event itself was so fun.
Yeah, it really was. We got to see some of our friends from YOLA that were there. Oh, yeah. Both Gordon and Tom were there. Said hi to them. There were several pros there. I think the highlight was returning Zane's serve.
Yeah, we both did.
We did.
So the Zane saw.
Only one of them is on video, though.
I know.
I don't know if...
I can't prove it.
You can't prove it. I was there. You did return it.
I did.
I was trying to pull my phone out.
It is on video. It is on Ace Pickleball Roswell Instagram account.
Oh, is it?
My return is on there.
It is?
It is.
Nice. Look it up.
So if you look it up on Instagram. But he was raising money. If you donated money, and then if you did not return his serve...
You paid $10.
You paid $10. If...
Well, hello, Tiger.
You did return his serve. He donated $20
$20, yeah.
to Alzheimer's or Stop Alzheimer's or whatever it is. Yeah. So So it was a fundraiser, and it was just he's just a fun guy. Yeah. I feel like
he's a really
Zane
nice guy.
cracks me up.
And you guys have a little connection.
We do. So we have a little.
This cracks
story.
me up that you actually reminded him of this, and he remembered.
And he remembered. So Beer City 2022, I happened to get on an elevator with Zane, and I was like, oh. So we're just standing there. Also, Matt Carpenter makes another appearance on our podcast.
Take a drink.
So the three of us are on this elevator, and this lady gets on the elevator, and she's kind of wild, which is totally fine. It was in the evening. She manages to drop her credit card down the slot of the, like in the floor, and loses her ever-loving mind. And she like runs, she's like freaking out, and then runs off. And we're all kind of standing there, and I like look at Matt, and I look at Zane, and we're like, okay. And so then that was it.
That was it.
Well, so then I walk up to Zane.
So a year and a half later, after you've returned to serve.
I returned to serve.
Yeah.
And then I missed his second serve. And I said, hey, Zane, do you remember? And I told him the story. He was like, yeah, that was like 2 years ago. I'm like, yes, it was. That was me on the elevator.
And then we saw him at MLP, and she brought it up like 4 more times. No,
I did not.
You did not.
He's like, oh my word, there's the elevator girl.
There's that elevator girl.
No, I didn't bring it up anymore.
Yeah.
But I had to buy an Orlando Squeeze shirt.
Yeah, to support
I
Zane.
like Anna and I like Zane. So I have a cute little Orlando Squeeze
and you
MLP.
just liked their merch the best.
Their merch was the best.
Yeah.
It really is. They did.
I do
want
to talk about the merch in a little bit, but let's stick with opening
So listen,
night.
I'll talk to anybody about anything.
I do want to say this because I've said on this pod several times that I was pro spin serve, and I still kind of miss it because it was a weapon that I used and helped me get a few points here and there. But after returning Zane's spin serve, and I'll be totally honest, we each returned one of them, but we didn't see his filthiest one. So the second one,
it was dirty.
Oh,
it was like there's no chance anybody.
Yeah.
It landed in the fence, like in the fencing. There's no way.
And you weren't within 2 feet of hitting. Your paddle was not anywhere close to it.
No.
And so when he hits it deep and it gets that kick, it's like no chance, like 0 chance whatsoever. So I now understand the rule change.
Right.
I really do. And I probably would even say I think it is best for the game that went away, even though I miss it. So, but it was kind of fun to see it.
It really
up
was
close
in
and
action,
personal,
yeah.
For sure.
It was crazy.
So other cool things at the event. So kind of speaking from the Ace standpoint, we have a partner that we're going to be with called My Pickleball Coach,
yep.
So it's part of something called My Pickleball Journey or My Journey. So this is like kind of a larger platform, but they have software now. I signed up for it where you can get coaching from people like Colin Johns, Zane. Who else
was Ben another one of them? I can't remember.
I don't think Ben was a part of this.
Colin and Zane were the 2 I remember, but there are additional pros also.
Martina Coakley is kind of the one that's headed it up. She's, I think, the CEO of it as well. And so...
so it's $20 a month, but you submit a video and you get
high-level feedback,
coaching. I mean, we charge far more than that for lessons.
Right. You should still come see us for lessons.
Well, yeah.
But in addition to that, to get some tips, and we always say as well that watching yourself on video is the best way that you can learn and improve. So I really like what they're doing.
Yeah, and it comes with this really cool app, and you can like put in there like what your goals are, what your duper is, what duper you're trying to reach, and it talks about your core positioning and the shot selection and all of that stuff. So it is really cool, and it'd be something that I think.
Yeah, so part of the grand opening, then they had some people there. Who were you coached by?
Martina.
Oh, Martina.
Yeah, and then her sister.
Okay.
I think it was the 2 of them. So I didn't have Colin. You had Colin.
So I had Colin and had one of the greatest points of my life right in front of Colin, which is fun.
We did not get it on video.
I know, that stinks. So all the good stuff.
What was his feedback for you? Something I've been telling you?
Pretty much everything that you've ever told me. So running around too much, get set.
And your paddles down.
And my paddles down. Get your paddle up, elbows up.
Yeah.
Be ready. So, but no, that was really cool. Fun night. They did the glow in the dark pickleball, which was very interesting at the end.
So,
you have some feedback
I have some feedback on that.
Don't hate on it too much.
I'm not. I really like it.
Good.
I just think that when you get into when you're with a population of people who just want to hit it hard, which is a lot of the population of of intermediate pickleball, which is totally fine.
You got to understand what it is.
Feels a little more dangerous because you're in the dark.
Right. Maybe protective eyewear, and we had some cool little
but
goggles.
But they were flashing, so like I couldn't I
you
couldn't
felt like
really
you were tripping or something the whole time. Yeah.
So like I had to take those off.
So it is.
Anyways,
I think it's going to be awesome for like kind of like cosmic bowling. You don't do cosmic bowling if you're like a serious bowler.
Right.
You go to have a good time and
Right.
play with your friends, and it is like those black lights. The ball.
They're super cool. Yeah.
It was really cool.
It was really fun. I just think that maybe
definitely more of a social event than a competitive.
Right. And I don't. Yeah. And hey, we're rec play warriors. We're competitors.
Absolutely.
So people are still hitting it as hard as they can in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like,
one thing I learned, here's a little inside baseball for you, inside pickleball, I guess we should say, that our location is actually going to have the black lights just on one side. So even an evening where they're doing glow-in-the-dark pickleball, there will still be the opportunity for you to play on the other side. Yeah. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just learned that.
It was really fun, though.
It was.
It was really fun. I would do it again.
Yep.
Maybe wear different glasses.
Yeah.
Eyewear. Which we should probably be wearing anyway.
We should.
We keep saying that.
Yeah. This morning I played and some more people were wearing eyewear.
Really? Yeah, I know. We should do that.
And I thought, man, I need to. I'm just going to do it. Maybe that'll be my New Year's resolution, or maybe even now preparing for nationals. I just need to get used to it.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway.
Anything else about the grand opening?
No. I love the building. I mean, it just seems like I'm just going to be really excited to play at Ace. I'm just going to say it.
And ours, I don't think I'm, hurting anybody's feelings by saying ours is going to be even better than the one in Roswell.
It's going
to have higher ceilings. There's going to be more space, better courts, more courts.
Yeah.
And they've even said they're still kind of learning. This is their very first one.
For sure. So they've got
some of the quote-unquote mistakes or things that they're kind of working out. So yeah, that was a great event. That was Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. We were dead tired after really almost staying up 24 straight hours from 2 a.m. getting up and driving. Mm-hmm. Got to bed and slept like babies, but still got up and played Thursday morning, didn't we?
We did.
We sure did.
Thursday night was our cocktail hour with Steve Kuhn.
Yeah.
And his hairless dog.
Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
I don't.
Okay. It kind of freaked you out.
I saw this dog, and if you know me,
had some comparisons that were not rated for this pod.
I love dogs, and I'm like, oh,
and then
puppies. Then I was like,
touch it. And
yeah. I mean, Steve, I love your dog.
It just takes a little getting used to.
It just was a shock.
Yeah.
It was a shock in the moment.
Yeah. Didn't he say he has a hairless cat?
He has a hairless cat too.
And he took off his hat, and he's like,
he said he's
hairless. I'm hairless. So.
And I was like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my first experience. I've seen a hairless cat before, but I don't think
I did not know there were hairless dogs.
Yeah. Well, now you do. Now you do.
So that's an interesting tidbit. But that cocktail party was really fun.
It really was.
Ben and Colin were there.
Yeah. Just like sitting at the table next to us. Kind of weird.
We didn't talk to him.
Yeah, we're not going to be like super fanboys.
Right.
And, I don't know.
We had seen him enough, though.
Cool.
I think he was probably like, who are these people?
Why do these random people keep showing up? They were in Orlando.
Then they were at the Ace. Remember we took a selfie with Colin at Ace. He's probably like, ugh.
Ugh, they're my stalkers.
Weirdos.
Yeah. But no, that was a really good time. The cocktail party as well. I'm just kind of getting to... That was at the Atlanta Athletic Club, which they've hosted, I think, a PGA championship there before. Yeah. So from the golf side of things...
I mean, it was pretty nice. It was all right.
Pretty nice. And we got all fancied up. Mm-hmm. You look pretty good. Oh. Shout out to Caitlin Tingley for letting you
borrow her
dress. And
Abby doesn't have dresses.
No, and Matt has one suit. So
you looked beautiful.
Thank you. Let's see. You want to take a quick break?
Yeah.
Okay. I could use a break, and then we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about MLP and just some other stuff
I was gonna say we have some things you need to hear.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Parents, your teen driver or soon-to-be driver looks to you for guidance on safe driving techniques.
Drive Alive is an organization dedicated to young driver safety. Visit our website at drivealiveindiana.org to view videos designed to facilitate conversations between parents and their teen drivers.
Topics include getting to know your vehicle, understanding car insurance, simple car maintenance, and what to do if you just had an accident.
Visit drivealiveindiana.org to learn more. All right, welcome back to One More Game, presented by Hoosier Pickleball. We're talking about our trip this past week. Has it been, we got back basically a week ago. Yeah. So we wanted to record this pod a little bit earlier, but it's been
We don't have time.
No, we have no time. So it's Saturday night, we're recording it. We'll drop this on Monday. So this MLP event that we're talking about was the Atlanta MLP, the latest one. But it took place about a week ago.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
It was better than I even thought.
Oh, yeah. Better than any, maybe it was different because we have played in a PPA. We've played in a few APPs. But, you're concentrating on playing during that time. So we were there just as spectators. But even when we've gone to those, we've watched the pros at each of those, and it's just never like this. The team event is just awesome.
I mean, even as much as I love pickleball, I did wonder if I would get bored after being there for like 3. I mean, because we were at the MLP all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, and I feel like I could have watched all the pickleball.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we were tired, but
testament to that is Saturday. We were like, well, we'll just kind of see how it goes, and we'll leave whenever. We have a 9-hour drive.
We needed to be home Sunday morning. Sunday
morning, we were serving at church, so it's like we had to be back by church, which started at like 10:30. So we really could stay as long as we wanted. But I remember there was a point on Saturday where we looked at each other. One of the matches had just ended. It's like 4:30.
Well, DC.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the DC played at 12, so this was actually the championship of the Challenger.
Right, this was the Hard Eights.
Yeah, that had just ended, and we were like, should we just go?
Because it was Miami versus Slice.
Okay.
Right?
That was going to be the last one.
Is the last one.
Right.
So it was like Tyson versus Ben.
Right.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that was going to be the 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
One. But there was one at 4 that was supposed to start at 4, started a little later. So anyways, we ended up staying.
We sure did.
The entire time.
Right.
And
it was an epic game.
It was. All of them were awesome.
Match, whatever. It was an epic match, yeah.
So much fun to watch. And I love the team aspect. I love just the kid in me. I love the logos, the merchandise we talked about a little earlier. I'm actually repping because... So this is part of the whole thing. So I got my DC pickleball team hat on. So kind of to backtrack, the week before we left, when we were kind of going back and forth, finally had decided that we were going to go. I had been playing with Jackie Kawamoto, and her boyfriend lives in town, Jackson, and so got done playing and said something like, hey, I'm planning on being at the MLP event. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. She's like, do you need tickets? And I said, well, I think we've got some through Ace. She's like, well, if you want, I can get you behind the scenes or what they call them.
Like players tent or whatever.
Yeah, players, like friends and family badges or whatever. So I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Didn't expect that at all. And that was so kind of Jackie to do that for us. So we met up with her and got those badges. And that gave us access that made what would have been a really fun time, even 10 times better.
Right, because we also got to sit in the shade a lot, which that would have been hard. I mean, it's fine, but we got to sit in the shade and
free food, snacks and drinks. We could not eat the players' food.
We could not eat the players' food.
That was
very, very clear.
Made very clear to us.
But we chatted with a lot of the pros' families because we were all kind of together, which was really fun to just meet them, and they were super nice.
And we said, they're all still accessible. They're not these super standoffish or whatever. They're happy. We again didn't try to be fanboy, fangirl, getting pictures with everybody.
No, we were just chatting with people, and then it turns out that's who that was.
Right. Yeah. So tell the one story, 'cause with our adoption connection, it was really cool.
Well, it was so funny. I saw this lady with this baby carrier, and literally this baby was just born, and I'm like,
2 weeks old.
Well, but that's really still very fresh.
Yes.
And I'm like, good for them. Take your babies everywhere. But I was kind of like, dang, that is a new baby. And so you started chatting with her.
Yeah.
I wasn't even paying attention. And so you said, I don't know I don't even know how it came up. You guys.
I think she told me. She said,
I asked, what's her name?
Yeah.
what's the baby's name? And she told me the baby's name. And so then it turns out it was Thomas Wilson's brand new adopted.
So it was his mother-in-law.
His mother-in-law.
That was there. Brittany is his wife, and I got talking to her. And so with our adoption story, it was just kind of cool. And the baby that they adopted was actually from Indianapolis. So there's just kind of an interesting connection there. But.
So then I even stopped Brittany later, and I was like, hey, I just love your story. I'm an adoptive mom too, and it's just so neat. And so she was so sweet. And anyway, so that was just a fun connection to make. And
sat next to Hunter and Yates Johnson's mom and their family. And she was adopted.
Their mom's adopted.
Yeah, was that right?
Yeah.
I forgot that too. So it's like all these adoption things.
Right.
Kind of adoption and pickleball. Maybe that could be our whole thing. But no, that was cool. Also, just to see the families and to just be. There were a couple like stars there, like Trey Young from the Atlanta Hawks was there watching the Atlanta Bouncers, and then Andy Mineo,
just like a singer,
that our girls really like. Got our picture taken with him, and if he ever comes up for a concert here in Fort Wayne, we'll get him out to Ace Pickleball and play a little bit. So that was just a lot of fun, and to have access to that area that we wouldn't have had otherwise. Again, big thanks to Jackie for hooking us up,
it was so
spoiling
fun.
us at our first MLP event, but.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like here's my takeaway, and this is what I want. This is why this is very important. So listen up.
Yes.
Hear this.
This is your PSA.
is go to the MLP events, make the trip, and if you can't make the trip, then watch it online. Like now you saw a different number, but when I was watching the finals, because we were home by this point, there was only 2,500 people watching, and you saw 5,000 or something like that, right?
I think you got.
But I feel like if we all love the sport, we have to make the investment into watching and supporting, because this is going to be a trickle down sport. Like what the events and the money that's pouring in has to be supported by the fans.
Right.
Like the NBA makes a ton of money, so they can spend a ton of money.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money pickleball makes right now. Like, how much money did the MLP bring in? I don't know. I'm not saying one way or another, but I'm just saying, support it. Buy the merch. Like, if we want to keep this going, we have to play our part.
100%.
And so when, not if, we have an MLP event at Fort Wayne.
I love it.
At Ace Fort Wayne. Or Steve Kuhn was like, have a minor league.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. We're going to figure out how to do a minor league pickleball event. Maybe that turns in, if we do it right, to a major league pickleball event as well. But I totally agree, and I think it's important to go as well, because like my love and admiration for it grew immensely by going.
Right.
I've watched some on TV, but I'm not one of those who's like tuning into every stream and knows, every player and what team they play for. But once you go and you kind of see it firsthand, then on Sunday, even though I'm dead tired, we came home and we're watching it.
Right, because I had like a vested interest at this point.
Absolutely.
I had been cheering these people on.
Yeah, and DC made a huge run, and that's really who we were rooting for.
And we really liked Vivian David, and she was in the finals, right, with Drive. Weren't they in the finals?
No, semifinals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was Squeeze and who was in the semi?
Arizona.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, she made it. They made it to the top two, right? No. They were second.
No.
Anyways.
DC lost in the finals to the Squeeze.
That's not true.
It's absolutely true. The final was between DC and the Orlando Squeeze, and the Orlando Squeeze pulled it out. This is awesome. You guys get to see firsthand an example of Abby being so confident in something, but being so wrong. Do we need to take a commercial break?
No, we don't.
Okay.
But I'm going to look. You guys, you go look.
Okay, put in the comments how confident you are about this. If you're listening, and then you can look it up. The final was between DC. They lost in the finals to the Squeeze. That's so funny. I feel like I need to bring up so many things that you've been wrong about that you still think you're right. French onion soup.
Oh my word. Anyways.
She can't even talk about it. Okay. Someday we'll tell that story. This makes her angry because she stole my story. She stole my story.
We're derailed.
We were doing right. We were doing all right. She just raised her hand like she hit me.
So I also was going to say,
Yes.
back to the topic at hand, that watching pros play, like there's nothing that really takes the place of practicing yourself. But if you can watch pros play and mimic their body mechanics and the choices they make and all of those things, like it was even just really good takeaways that I had for myself of different things that different shots that I don't have. Obviously, they have a million more than I have.
Right.
And
but you see the patience that they have. I think that's, again, it's like we get too much. You were just playing in an event today, and you said that there's just hardly any dinking.
For the first, well, I think we were all just tight. For the first two games, everybody was just hitting everything hard, and I was like...
Yeah, and these were like high-level women from the region.
Right.
And,
we all settled down, though, so there was dinking later on in the day. But to your point, yeah, they're just so patient, and there were just a lot of, I'm just saying, personal takeaways I had of just watching pros, things that I want to mimic, so...
Yeah. All right, good stuff. Let's take another break, though. We do have a couple more things. In the meantime, we're going to look it up. After we come back, Abby will apologize to me for this and many other things. And we will conclude with some other...
We have some other things about Ace.
About Ace, for sure. Some updates, some inside knowledge.
This has been a very off track. Very off track.
Sorry. All right, we'll be right back.
Google
You're
stuff.
going to Google it right now. We'll see in just a minute.
Between the two of us, we've had 7 orthopedic surgeries, 4 cortisone injections, and countless injuries that have required physical therapy, and we are only in our early 40s. So where do we go when we need physical therapy? Indiana Physical Therapy.
That's right, Abby. With 22 locations in Fort Wayne and the surrounding counties, Indiana Physical Therapy will be there to get you back to work, play, and life.
Indiana Physical Therapy, where people go to get better.
Visit indianapt.com for more information. Welcome back to one more game presented by Ace Pickleball.
I really don't like your tone.
You don't like my tone? Why?
No. Or you really right now. So, okay, I was wrong.
Oh, what?
Listen.
Shocker.
For the record.
Okay.
There's a lot that I've done between now and then.
Okay.
I was thinking
you were
Drive
confusing
me DC.
the slice.
I don't know who I
You
was
put the
confusing.
slice in there. Ben
No.
Johnstein. Oh, okay.
I was saying that's who we watched Saturday night. Yeah. I'm saying I thought on Sunday DC lost to the Drive. That's what I thought happened.
You thought DC lost.
Really, probably in the day, I didn't think that happened, but since it's been an entire week, I don't really know anymore.
Yeah, but you were confident.
I can keep things filed away
confident.
for about 3 days, and then I don't know anymore.
That's true.
What did I learn 3 days ago? I don't know.
Okay. Well, to put a bow on that, I didn't tell my story, and I'm not saying any names, but I did have kind of an interesting... So part of the cool thing about having the behind-the-scenes passes is we're just like, you got using
to pee with the pros.
Yeah, using the same facilities. Like I got out of the shower. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that, was I? we did.
We probably weren't supposed to use their showers.
Okay. Are we going to leave that in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lifetime.
Lifetime. Well, Lifetime
I
had
think we were
showers
showering
there
with pros.
because we got up one morning and we played there, and then we're like, well, the showers are there, so won't name any other names, but we had some friends that we saw there, and they are like shower aficionados. We're going way down.
Wow, you guys.
They know where you can get good showers, and so they scope these out, and they're like, hey, we can just shower here. This is like Lifetime.
They got towels.
Yeah, they got towels. So I took a shower there after we played, and there's pros just hanging out there. Yeah. So anyways, but I did have to go to the bathroom and was in a urinal next to, not naming names, but someone that most people would know, and I can say he because I was in the men's bathroom at least.
It's very fair.
Did not wash his hands.
Not a hand washer.
Went out. So
I'm not tapping his paddle.
Not tapping. Well, yeah. And if I do, it's going to be
not
other
the
end
handle.
of it. Right.
No,
not
don't touch the handle.
Do not touch the handle. So I was a little surprised, but okay. Well, there you go.
Well, I will.
Maybe he's a sanitizer, though. You know what? I will give people the benefit, because I do this sometimes, or I don't want to use the sink there, but
That's
I've got
fair.
hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're going
fair.
to give the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Okay.
3 people mistook me for a pro.
Oh, you did want to talk about this.
The first guy, I walk in. To be fair, I had my lanyard on, my backpack. I had like my phone out, and I mean, I probably just looked like I was busy, like
Right.
on my way to like my backpack, like my pickleball backpack.
Right.
And he just looked at me. He's like, "Are you a pro?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Oh, huh."
And then he hit on you, right?
Yeah. Well, then he bought me coffee.
Yeah, okay.
That I don't know if that's hitting on.
Okay.
Anyways, he followed me.
Nobody
to the
bought me coffee.
He followed me to the coffee shop and took care of my coffee for me. And I was like, wow, thank you very much. And so the other 2 were whatever. It's just really funny.
The other one was funny that like really went down the road of like, when do you play? And you're like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's like,
because we had just gotten done playing.
we had just, that's the thing, we had
Right.
just gotten done playing. So I wasn't processing in that moment as I'm stuffing my face with Snickers. And he's like, I love watching you play. And I really was like, maybe he saw me
Maybe.
over on the rec courts. I don't know.
Right.
And I was like, oh, thanks. And then I failed to tell you, don't think I told you this. He started talking about sports injuries. And I was like, yeah, I've torn my ACL playing pickleball. And he was like, no way, I didn't know that. And I'm like,
You need to reach out to him on Facebook. It's Dr. Jack Llewellyn, is
like
that right?
like a famous sports psychologist.
I really want to know who he thought you were. So we did post that on Facebook and got several. I think people were dead serious about who was the one that
Allison.
Yeah.
But I guess
But she has red hair.
She has red hair. But I think people just don't notice that detail.
Yeah.
Because it's light red.
And she has a nose ring, is that right?
She does.
Okay.
And she's probably my height.
And she's smiley, she's cute.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing.
It's like when I go down the road too far of a mistake of somebody with mistaken identity, I tend to just like not correct them, then I run.
It's the weirdest thing. Like, you would allow somebody to call you Allie for like
Years.
Years.
I don't care.
And the longer it goes, the weirder
I
it
know.
does.
That's
Yeah.
why I couldn't say anything because I was
Yeah.
like, it didn't click until I'm like,
I've
this guy
always
thinks
given you a
I'm
hard
pro.
time about that, but I do have people, one guy in particular that calls me Brandon, and I
Right.
get that a lot.
Right.
But usually people figure it out. But one guy still has called me Brandon, and
And
I'm
you're
like,
not,
yeah,
who cares? What's it matter
Yeah.
at this point? Anyway, so that was really funny.
that was funny. All right, so that's enough about the MLP.
Okay.
Let's move on to some local stuff.
Right.
Part of the podcast, and this might be the last episode that we record from our couch. I like our couch. But we're hopefully going to start recording our episodes from Ace Pickleball. And even before it opens, to give you kind of a visual update on what it's looking like. So a couple things I want to say about Ace. So here we are right towards the beginning of October, and we are hoping, nothing's been set in stone, but December-ish is kind of the time we're aiming for. We all know how construction can be, and starting a new business, it could get pushed back, but we're hopeful that could be sometime, at least have a soft opening sometime in December. Right now, currently as it sits, it's what we call like a white box. The keys have been handed over to us. It's been pretty much cleared out, and so now we come in and we get all the fencing put in, the courts poured, all of the masonry and mill work done, and that's going to be kind of the process over the next few months. Really excited about the progress, and this was really my first week working full capacity, because I had kind of been back and forth between Croninger and Ace. That was the school I was at, but my contract is officially done. I'm no longer an FWCS employee here.
Aww.
It's kind of sad. I was in education for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I did love the people that I worked with for the most part. So yeah, I'm excited to be like full on with Ace, fully focused on that. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Loving the people I'm working with there, and
making
some progress.
Ace corporate is just really great people.
Oh, they are,
We've
yeah.
gotten to know them, and I could hang out with them. I mean, they're just
Yeah.
really fun. So
A lot of them were at the
All
grand
of-
opening.
yeah.
A lot of them are in the Atlanta area, but some of them are
Remote.
all over the country,
Yeah.
from Seattle to Orlando to all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it'll be so nice. So as we approach the winter months, and even just being in Indiana with the weather, I'm just really excited to have a place to play indoors like anytime. I mean, even just we were trying to schedule some play.
More courts, really, because not a knock on Wildwood, because
Right.
we have courts to play at,
Right.
but to have more options.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when those 8 courts are full, that's it. And
Yeah.
or if they so we were trying to schedule some courts for a few weeks out, and there's a private event that night, and it's
You had like
which
a
is
women's mixer.
yeah,
or
which is
something.
fine. Like
Yeah.
I'm not upset in any way.
No.
It's just
It is what
would
it
be
is.
nice.
So
to
more
have-
courts is great.
More courts is great. More tennis courts, like more of the tennis surface because
Tennis surface, right? And like
yeah.
tennis
Sorry,
courts, yeah.
I mean tennis surface and.
This is a pickleball.
Yeah, and you know, maybe I'm a snob, but I'm just so used to it after
Yeah.
playing, you know, outdoors as much as I can, and then at Wildwood, like it's fine to go to the churches and the gyms and stuff. Like I'm not gonna knock that, but
Right,
like
to
the
have
surface better and-
have dedicated courts with
Right.
real nets. This is going to be a state of the art facility, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
So my encouragement, I mean, I guess I feel like my encouragement too is like to join Ace because, I mean, it's going to cost more than $1. That's what Macmillan costs. It's $1 to play.
Is it literally $1?
It's $1.
I thought it was $2.
Well, at this point, it might be $2. I have no idea. I haven't played there in so long.
Yeah.
It might be $2.
Yeah, that's a local rec center.
Yeah.
That we have
with
that-
the gym floors and all, and it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. But I mean, if you want a good experience with the people you want to play with, and I don't know, like just you should join Ace. Is
And
my
we're
point.
still figuring. We've had lots of questions around pricing. We're still figuring
We don't
out
have that
like
yet.
what the price point's going to be. But I mean, we want to make it accessible for everybody. That may not mean a membership for everybody, but there will be opportunities to play.
Yeah.
For everybody. So
Yeah, I
excited to
think
give
it's
you more
really
information
great.
about that. In
Yeah,
the
and we're gonna have
coming
other
weeks and
we're gonna have other programming too. I mean, there's
yeah.
gonna be so much programming there that I think will be. I think it will just there'll be something for everybody.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, and just one more thing too is this is kind of off track a little bit, but one of the things I get asked a lot because I've been giving a lot of clinics, a lot of beginner clinics, and even just kind of some intermediate people asking me, and it's so evident when you watch the pros. This is how I'm making this connection. It's so evident when you watch the pros how much off-court time they put in, meaning no paddle in hand. You know, they're not hitting a pickleball, but they're doing things to get better on the court, which is like explosive movement. I mean, pickleball is becoming so fast and so explosive that it was so evident to see it firsthand that like one of the things I walked away with too was how important off-court work is if you want to get a little better.
Strengthening and
it's not hard to
agility.
do.
Yeah.
That's my point. It's not hard to do. Is some strengthening, some plyometrics, which is your explosive power. I'm not saying you have to jump over 3-foot boxes, but anytime you can do any of that explosive training, you can find YouTube videos or whatever.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend that because that's going, no matter what level you are, that's going to take your game a little higher. You're going to have a little bit more power, a little bit more stability, and a little bit more strength, which is only going to be better for you on the court. And it will prevent injuries.
Yeah, 100%.
So I just loved watching the pros so up close at how powerful they were, like at how strong and quick.
Yeah,
And that's not just playing pickleball.
It's amazing to me. I always notice how low they get
Yeah.
and how they can do those deep squats and kind of that range of motion to be able to
Right.
get out and get low.
Yeah,
It's,
and
it's
so-
such a we teach that day one
Yeah.
is low to high, and pros are doing that obviously
Yeah.
better than anybody else.
Yeah, and just the amount of comments I get. How would I get better at thus and such? And I
Yeah.
want to be like, lift weights and jump rope. That's going to make you better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it, but it's true.
I'm
There's my little tip.
I'm excited even just about like the ball machines that we're going to have at Ace
Oh,
and being
Ernie,
able
the
to.
Ernie.
I mean, that's kind of the brand we're leaning towards now.
Okay.
I don't think that's like
Oh,
100%
okay.
sure.
Okay.
But that will allow you to go out and practice with just a ball machine,
Yeah.
getting reps like that. So I think, Ace is going to be the place. Ace is the place. Not a hardware commercial.
hardware store.
It's going to be the place for people of all levels,
Yeah,
but especially
absolutely.
your high-end players who are wanting to get better and wanting to
Yeah.
drill, wanting to go out and get that time, but
Yeah.
anytime they can.
Yeah, but but don't ever feel like you're not going to belong. Like any level,
100%.
any
Yeah,
level is
right.
going to be, every level is
There's going to be,
very important. We want all of you to feel like you are our favorite member.
You're our favorite
You
member.
are. All of you guys.
Yep. So again, we'll be giving some more updates in the coming weeks as we get closer and closer to our grand opening of Ace Fort Wayne. A couple other things that we wanted to just talk about real quick, and then we'll wrap this episode up. I learned at the grand opening about a really cool app. I'm just kind of checking it out now called Unforced Pickleball.
I didn't download that.
And
Did you?
yeah, I did, and I was kind of playing around with it. And it's really an easy way. You know how much I love data. I'm kind of a data nerd. We had the one episode with Alex Spancake of Pickle Mart. And this is a way that even with like your watch, you can kind of track every point and whether an error is made or a winner is hit, and kind of keep track of just really how many errors. So I didn't get a chance to use it yet. So maybe in our next pod, I'll give an update once I actually use it, because there's a little bit of setup on the front end, like to say who's playing. So like before you go on court, you need to kind of like put that in, and then you can just use your watch. And after every point, it's just like 2 clicks to say, was it a winner and who hit it? Or was it an unforced error and who hit it? And then it keeps track of some pretty simple data. Now, the next level of it is you can say like what kind of shot it was, like winner, drop shot, or winner.
Is that going to be
drive.
more watching the video and reviewing it, or can you do that while you're playing too?
I think that's a great question. I think you can do it while you're playing if you're quick at
That'd
it,
be
but
really
I don't want to
interesting.
slow down play.
Right.
But I feel
You'd almost
like,
have to be like, okay, guys, I'm going to keep some data this
Right.
game. So
yeah, and I think most people probably be fine. Me and my ADD, if I need one more thing to think about on the court,
So true.
I might be kind of a nuisance to play with. In my mind, it might explode. And then the last thing is just a PSA for good
I
sportsmanship.
feel like you have a story, but you're
Well,
not going
I'm not
to
going to share details of this. But
I would like to know what your story is off camera.
Okay, off air.
I don't think I know it.
Off air, we can talk about it.
Okay.
But we did have recently a little thing in our Arlington Park pickleball league.
Oh, I don't know this story.
Yeah. So we've just listen. Our league comprises of people probably from level 2-5 all the way up to 4-0 ish, maybe a little bit
That's
over that.
generous. Oh.
That's be kind. I'd say there are some 4-0s that play in it. But I do not think that poor sportsmanship goes to just one category. It's just, we got to remember we're playing pickleball. And this is one thing I think I'm going to really try to harp at Ace as well, is just having fun. Like, I am as competitive as they come. Like, I really, truly am. But you can be competitive and still be a good sport. I don't think those are mutually exclusive at all. And so we just have had a couple incidents where
Like
some people
when you
have-
yell at me on the court?
Right. That's
Right.
being competitive.
Oh,
And
okay.
you should learn to take that better.
Oh, like when you're like, what
Just
the
kidding.
hell?
I'm just kidding.
You said that to me
I
once.
did.
You said
Pastor
that to me.
Jamie, I would never say
You
that,
said that to
my
me.
wife. If Pastor Jamie is 50 minutes into this podcast, then
It's a miracle.
he's a great listener. But I think I said, what the heck, Abby? Okay. Are we really going to do
I'm calling
this?
Matt Carpenter.
Oh my goodness.
He was there.
Do you want to know some of the
Except he
words
can't
Abby
hear.
has said on the court? Or to her children. We'll get real personal.
Listen,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're still going to be married after this episode,
I
right?
think so.
Okay.
So all of that to say, we all have our moments.
For sure.
And so we can also show grace to those people who are having a moment
100%.
because we
And
all
that's
have a
part
moment.
of it.
Yeah.
It's both. We've talked about this before.
Yeah,
it
so
goes
many
both
times.
ways.
Yep.
And if somebody's having one of those, be the bigger person. Just kind
Yep.
of step away.
Yep.
Don't fight fire with fire and make it worse than it needs to be. But that's just my PSA. No matter what level you're playing at, just be cool, have fun, be competitive, try to win, but still
Keep it on the court
Yes.
and then just
be friends afterwards.
Yeah.
That's the
I know
social
it's
part
hard.
of
I know it's
pickleball
hard.
is the best part of pickleball. Don't forget that.
it makes us all better people.
It does. Okay. Is that it? Is that an episode?
We covered all the things.
We really did.
Is anybody still listening?
For sure. Because they probably, well, unless they got, I think some people get a little cringy when like we start arguing with each other.
I
So
don't think anybody cares.
they don't. Maybe my parents. My parents might have been like, I don't know, turn it off. I don't know if they even listen anymore. They probably stopped after episode 5.
Probably.
Over it. But no, that's good. I think we covered a lot of good stuff.
We sure did.
And did you apologize?
I didn't apologize.
Oh, okay.
I just said I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
Why should I be sorry?
That's good enough. I'll take it.
Okay. I'm not sorry. I'm just wrong. It was about pickleball.
I'm not sorry. I feel like that could be a t-shirt. I'm not sorry. I'm just wrong. I'll take it. Okay. Well, I hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for tuning in again. I don't know how often we're going to do these. We're just going to see how it goes. But
You can't pin me
hopefully the
down.
next time behind us will not be our dark kitchen. Hopefully Tiger will not interrupt us and jump on your lap. I do like our couch, but it'd be nice to get to the Ace facility. So.
Absolutely.
All right, until next time, this has been One More Game. Have a great day. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Indiana Physical Therapy, and Pickleball Rocks. In addition, a big thank you to our production company, Coraggio Media, and the 95.7 WELT studio in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number 1 More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the word. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun, tips, tricks, and other family nonsense, and also some great discussion. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.